The grand hall of Zereth Prime was filled with glowing crystals, tall warriors, and proud nobles. Everyone waited for the bonding ceremony to begin. It was supposed to be a celebration of strength, beauty, and tradition. But today, the air felt heavy. Whispers moved faster than light, because she was coming. Princess Lorana of House Vereen, the blind and disabled heir of the Empire. The doors opened with a deep metallic echo. Every alien turned. Some looked away. Some frowned. A few even stepped back as if she carried a disease. Lorana walked slowly, leaning on her thin mechanical brace. Her silver-white eyes didn't move or focus. Her breathing was soft, controlled, but her fingers trembled for just a second. No one missed that tremble. She is unfit, a noble whispered. She cannot fight, another said. She cannot even see her own bondmate. Lorana heard every whisper. Her senses were sharper than they knew, but she kept her head high. She had learned long ago that weakness is not the disability. It is the cruelty of others. She reached the center of the hall, expecting anyone, to step forward and offer a bond. But instead, every candidate moved away. First politely, then openly. One warrior even laughed, shaking his head. The hall felt colder than space. A royal advisor cleared his throat, embarrassed. Is there no one willing to stand with the princess? Silence answered him. Lorana's heart cracked, but she did not let her face break. She was royalty. She was alone, and she was used to it. Just when the humiliation reached its peak, the doors opened again with a loud slam. Dust fell from the ceiling. Everyone turned. A human soldier walked in, tall, tired, wearing a worn-out jacket and armor scratched from travel. His name was Evan, but no one cared. Humans were considered simple, weak, unimportant. He should not even be in the hall. Why is a human here? A noble snapped, but Evan didn't answer. His eyes were fixed on the princess, on her loneliness, on her stillness, on the way she stood alone in a hall full of people. He walked forward. Not fast, not proud, just steady. Every alien stared in disbelief. He stopped right in front of her. Lorana shifted, hearing his footsteps, feeling the warmth of someone standing close for the first time in years. Evan bowed slightly and spoke in a calm, warm voice. Princess, may I stand with you? The hall exploded in shock. Unacceptable. Disrespect. A human cannot bond with royalty. But Lorana lifted her face toward the sound of his voice. Her lips parted slightly. She could feel sincerity in his tone. No fear, no pity, no disgust. Just respect. Her hand rose slowly, almost touching his chest plate. For the first time in her life, she whispered a word with hope. Yes. And the entire empire stopped breathing. The moment Princess Lorana said yes, the hall erupted like a storm. Guards stepped forward. Nobles shouted. High-ranking generals argued with each other. Everyone demanded the same thing. Remove the human. But Evan did not move. He simply stood beside the princess, calm and steady, as if he had every right to be there. Princess Lorana felt the chaos around her, but for the first time in her life, she wasn't afraid. She could feel Evan's presence like a quiet shield beside her. Then the air changed. A deep, powerful sound echoed to the hall. The king had arrived. King Varos, ruler of Zereth Prime, walked in with heavy armor and cold golden eyes. He saw everything. The princess, the human, the angry crowd. But his face stayed unreadable. Silence, he commanded. The hall froze instantly. The king stepped toward Evan, towering over him. Evan didn't flinch. He didn't bow. He didn't show fear. And that shocked the nobles even more. Human. The king said slowly, "Do you know what you have done?" Evan nodded once. I asked the lonely princess if she wanted someone beside her. Whispers rose again. No one had ever spoken to the king like that. Simple, honest, direct. The king studied him for a long moment. You are either brave or foolish. Evan shrugged softly. Maybe both, your majesty. A faint reaction, almost amusement, touched the king's eyes, but vanished quickly. Princess Lorana stepped forward, her voice steady. Father, he has done nothing wrong. The nobles gasped. She had rarely defended anyone, especially in public. But the king did not focus on her. He focused on the tremble in her hand. "Lorana," he said gently, "do you wish this human to stand with you?" She took a slow breath, searching Evan's position through the sound of his breathing. "Yes," she said again, stronger this time. This answer shook the hall even more than the first. The king turned toward the council. "The princess has spoken." A furious general stepped forward. "Your Majesty, this breaks every rule. The royal bond must be with an elite warrior." The king's voice turned cold. "Are you questioning my daughter's right to choose?" The general stepped back immediately. But the council was not done. Old Counselor Redhar, with his long blue robes, spoke carefully. "Your Majesty, permission to scan the human? We must confirm he is not manipulating the princess." The king nodded. "Do it." 2 guards approached Evan. They scanned him from head to toe with glowing devices. No weapons. No illegal implants. No psychic devices. No hidden tricks. The result appeared in holographic letters. Human, normal, clean, honest. The hall went silent. The king exhaled slowly, then turned to Evan. "You may stay beside her for now." The council hated it. The nobles hated it. Even some guards glared at Evan. But the princess smiled, for the first time in many years. Evan whispered quietly, "I've got you, princess." And even though she could not see him, she believed him. After the ceremony disaster, the king ordered the hall to be cleared. Guards escorted nobles out. Generals whispered angry plans. Counselors glared at Evan as if he had committed a crime. But Princess Lorana and Evan were taken to a quiet royal garden behind the palace. For the first time, they were alone. The garden was peaceful. Soft wind, glowing flowers, and gentle humming stones placed for meditation. Lorana liked this place because she could hear everything clearly. Evan stood beside her, unsure if he should talk or stay silent. Lorana broke the silence first. "You walked to me," she said softly. "Why?" Evan looked at her, surprised by how calm she sounded. "You were alone," he answered, "and you looked like you didn't deserve to be." Lorana tilted her head. "Do you pity me?" "No," Evan said immediately. "I respect you." Her lips curved slightly, almost a smile. Most people talked to her with fear or fake kindness. Evan's honesty felt different. After a moment, she asked a question no alien had ever asked a human. "Evan, what do I look like?" Evan hesitated. "Are you sure you want to say it?" "Yes." "You look strong," he said, "even when everyone tried to make you feel small." Her breath caught. She was expecting that answer. Evan noticed something else. She always turned her face toward his voice with perfect accuracy. "You can sense things," he said, "better than others." She nodded slowly. "I cannot see, but I listen. I feel every step, every breath, every change in the air." To show him, she raised her hand. "Walk," she said. Evan took a careful step. "No," she said. "Walk how you normally walk." He walked normally, light, steady, with a soldier's rhythm. She pointed exactly where he was without looking. "You are 2 steps to my left." He blinked. "How did you?" "Your armor vibrates. Your heart beats faster when you think. Your boots touch the ground with a soft pattern. I hear it all." Evan was stunned. She wasn't weak. She wasn't helpless. She was extraordinary. "Princess," he said, "you're not disabled. You have a different kind of power." Lorana lowered her hand, almost embarrassed. "My people don't understand. They see my eyes and stop there." Evan shook his head. "Then they're blind, not you." Her breath trembled again, but this time from emotion, not fear. Before she could reply, the garden lights flickered. Evan's soldier instincts activated. He turned, scanning the shadows. "Someone's watching us," he whispered. Lorana's calm expression changed. She tilted her head, sensing the air. "Yes," she said softly. "I can feel it too." Hidden footsteps retreated. A quiet device clicked off. Someone had been spying on them, listening, recording, waiting. Evan stepped closer to her. "Princess, you might be in danger." Lorana did not panic. Instead, she whispered something that made Evan's blood run cold. I have always been in danger, Evan. Today, I just have someone who finally notices. Evan stood in front of Lorana, eyes scanning every corner of the garden. He wasn't imagining it. Someone had been there, someone who didn't want a human near the princess. The quiet wind carried the smell of burnt metal, the scent of a spine device still warm. Lorana touched her fingers to the air, feeling vibration trails only she could sense. There were two of them, she whispered. One near the stone arch, one behind the singing tree. Evan turned sharply. You can tell that? She nodded. Their steps were uneven. One was nervous, the other angry. Evan's jaw tightened. Someone was planning something, and the princess had lived with this silent danger for years. He had no idea she carried this alone. Princess, he said firmly, I'm staying with you, no matter what they try. Lorana looked down, her fingers closing around her brace. You don't need to protect me. Maybe not, Evan said, but I want to. Her heart fluttered at those words. Something new, something warm she didn't understand yet. Before she could speak, a royal guard appeared at the garden gate, breathless. Princess Lorana, His Majesty requests you, and the human immediately. Evan noticed the guard's hands shaking. The palace was afraid, and not of Lorana. They were afraid of change. Inside the throne chamber, the king sat on his massive obsidian throne, surrounded by generals and council members. Everyone looked tense. A holographic image floated above them, grainy, but clear enough. A secret recording. Lorana and Evan talking in the garden, her abilities, her closeness to him. Evan stepping in front of her protectively. Someone had recorded everything illegally. The council was furious. This is proof, one shouted. The human is influencing her. He must be removed. He is dangerous. Evan didn't speak. He simply placed a hand behind Lorana, not touching her. But there, ready. The king watched this small gesture. He didn't miss anything. Tell me, human. The king said, why do you stand with her when everyone else steps away? Evan answered without fear. Because she deserves better than to stand alone. The hall went silent. Even Lorana froze. No one had ever defended her so openly. Not like this. The king studied Evan, then looked at Lorana. My daughter, do you trust him? Lorana took a deep breath. She listened to Evan's heartbeat. Strong, steady, never afraid. Yes, she said, more than anyone in this room. Gasps echoed across the chamber. The king lowered his head thoughtfully. Then hear my decision. The hall leaned in. The human will stay. Shock rippled through the room. Generals protested. Council members shouted. Guards exchanged confused looks. But the king lifted a hand. Silence returned instantly. He will stay, the king repeated, because today I saw something rare. His eyes focused on Lorana. My daughter smiled. She has not done that in many years. Lorana's breath caught. Evan stood taller. The king finished. Let them remain together. Let them stand as one. The throne room trembled, not from war, but from history changing. The king's decision spread across the empire like a shockwave. A human beside the princess? A blind and disabled heir choosing her own bond? Many supported the king, but many more wanted revenge. Deep inside the palace, in a war room lit with red lamps, a group of nobles gathered in secret. They belonged to the Iron Blood Clan, the strongest faction after the royal family. Their leader, Lord Carif, slammed his fist on the table. A human stand beside the princess while we, pure warriors, are denied? This is an insult to our blood. Another noble hissed, remove the human, remove the princess. The throne will fall to us. Carif smiled slowly. Meanwhile, in the training courtyard, Evan was helping Lorana walk across the stones, letting her feel the ground with her brace. She moved slowly but confidently. Her senses were sharp, her mind focused. You trust me too easily, Evan joked. Lorana shook her head. I trust you because you are the only one who speaks to me like I am not broken. Evan softened. You're not broken, Lorana. You're powerful. She paused, tilting her head. Someone is coming. Evan turned. A group of armored warriors marched in, blocking the exit. Lord Karras stepped forward. "Human," he said, voice full of anger, "we challenge your bond. If she chooses you, you must prove you are worthy." Evan frowned. "And how do I do that?" Karras grinned. "Trial by combat. You fight me." Lorana stiffened. "No, he is not trained for alien combat." "He accepted the bond," Karras snapped. "He must prove it." Evan looked at Lorana. She reached for his hand, her voice trembling. "You don't have to do this." Evan squeezed her fingers gently. "If I don't stand for you now, when will I?" Her breath broke for a second. The courtyard filled with spectators. Warriors whispered, excited to watch a human fail. Evan removed his worn jacket, rolling his shoulders. Karras laughed. "You come unarmed?" "I don't need a weapon," Evan said quietly. "I have something better." Karras scoffed. "What could a human possibly have?" Evan glanced at Lorana. "A partner." The match began with a loud gong. Karras rushed forward. Fast, powerful, a trained killer. Evan barely dodged a first strike. The ground cracked when a blow landed. Lorana listened to every sound, every vibration. "Evan, step right. Now left. Duck." He followed her words instantly. Karras swung again and again, each attack missing by inches. The crowd gasped. How is the human moving like that? Who is guiding him? This is impossible. Lorana lifted her head proudly. "I can sense every movement he makes. And I can sense every mistake you make." Karras roared in frustration. Evan finally saw an opening. Lorana whispered, "Now." Evan stepped in and slammed his palm into Karras' chest, using the alien's own momentum. Karras stumbled, fell, and hit the ground hard. Silence. A human had defeated an elite alien warrior. Lorana's fingers trembled with joy. Evan stood beside her, breathing hard but steady. Karras growled from the ground. "This isn't over. You have made enemies today." Evan answered calmly, "I don't care. She's not standing alone anymore." And for the first time in her life, neither was she. The courtyard trembled with shock. Warriors stared at the fallen Lord Karras, unable to believe a human had defeated one of their strongest fighters. And even more unbelievable, he had done it with the guidance of a blind princess. Princess Lorana stood tall, her hand over her heart, feeling Evan's breath steady in the air. She didn't need sight to know he was hurt. She could sense the tremor in his muscles, the ache in his ribs. Evan tried to smile. "I'm fine, princess. Just a few scratches." "You lie," she whispered. "Your heartbeat changed." He chuckled softly. "You really don't miss anything, do you?" Before she could answer, horns echoed across the courtyard. The king arrived, surrounded by guards and generals. His eyes narrowed when he saw Karras on the ground. "What happened?" he demanded. Karras spat angrily. "Your daughter's human disrespected our laws. He must be punished." Evan opened his mouth to speak, but Lorana stepped forward first, her voice sharp and clear. "No, I speak. I choose." The entire courtyard froze. The princess had never raised her voice like this. Lorana continued, "He fought because you forced him. He won because he listened to me. He protected me because no one else ever did." Her words echoed like thunder. The king looked at Evan thoughtfully. "Human, do you swear to stand with my daughter, not as a claim to power, but as her equal?" Evan didn't hesitate. "I swear. I don't want her crown. I just want her to never feel alone again." A rustle moved through the crowd, confusion, shock, and respect. Then, something happened no one expected. Lorana reached out her hand. "Evan," she whispered softly, "may I see your face?" He froze. "Princess?" "I." "Please." He leaned closer, guiding her hand gently to his cheek. Her fingers explored his jawline, his nose, his forehead. Slowly, she traced every detail, memorizing him through touch the way others use sight. Her breath trembled with emotion. "You are warm," she whispered, "and strong, and real." Evan swallowed hard. "Do you see me now?" She smiled, a small, glowing, heartbreaking smile. Yes, I do. The king watched in silence, something breaking inside him. For years he had failed to give his daughter the one thing she needed most, someone who saw her worth. He raised his hand, voice firm. Let be declared. Human Evan Hale is recognized as the chosen bond of Princess Lorena. He will stand beside her, and anyone who challenges his bond challenges the throne itself. Gasps filled the air. Kara tried to rise, but guards slammed him back down. His rebellion was over. Lorena took a step closer to Evan. Thank you, she whispered. For what? He asked. For seeing me before anyone else did. Evan smiled. Princess, you showed me something too. What? That strength is not in perfect bodies. It's in brave hearts. Lorena lifted her face toward him, feeling the sunlight warming her skin. For the first time in her life, she didn't feel broken. She felt powerful. She felt chosen. She felt seen. And beside her stood the human who changed everything.